And we're back. Go ahead. I mean, it is your game this way, so.
Welcome back, everyone. Sorry about that. Some background noise to deal
I,
with.
I immediately forgot, didn't I? Oh well. Sorry about that.
It's all right. It's not a problem.
Okay. I like the fact that the journalists and such are chasing down this clinic that is giving help to the poor rather than the person who is selling fake medicine on the street. It's perfectly
Hmm.
realistic and deplorable.
All right. What?
Migraine. Oof.
Yeah, he needs some help.
Bronchitis.
Yeah, of course she's healthy. She's all right. That's all the way back there.
And that's not a good thing.
What?
For some reason, you really wanted to stab the truck.
That was weird.
Somewhere they had the idea that's like, we want to do vampirism as a epidemic, so let's have zombies.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, what do you do with late 18th century? Um, yeah, what do you do with late 18th century vampires in London? Well, you have an epidemic. Um, you make your vampire a doctor because that gives them missions that they can do.
Well, it's early 20th century, but yeah.
Well, yes. Pardon me.
Um,
Yes, because World War I, I even gave you crap for that before.
it happens to us all.
It really does.
And to tell you the truth, a lot of fiction doesn't seem to care about the differences in the 18th century, 19th century, and 20th century.
Hmm.
So it's for someone who's not a serious historian, which I am not a serious historian, it sometimes gets hard to tell the difference unless they give
Yeah.
you a date.
Hmm. So that's an axe.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, joy, lead. That's just what a growing body needs.
Um, there's a furry one beneath you there, behind you. Did I not push to talk? Oh shit.
You did push to talk. I didn't see them at all.
I saw you land right there. I was like, behind you.
Yeah, no, I could not see them. It was too dark.
Yeah, I couldn't see
I,
them at the time I said behind you either. I just knew where he was when you
yeah.
dropped. Oh,
R- really? Oh well, I guess I did the world a
Not
favor. Oh,
exactly a treasure chest. A battered box, some knickknacks, and a letter.
bloody diary. Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
Barrett, there's no easy way to say it, so I'm going to be blunt. We can't keep on like this. At least I can't keep on like this. If Joe ever finds out about us, about his wife and his best friend, it will crush him, and then he will kill you. We had some good time together, but let's face it, I'm never going to be your Jane Lewis. You know it, and I know it too, so I'm ending this right here and right now. If you agree with my decision, I'm sure we'll find a way to be happy again, you, Joe, and me in time. Yes, it's called polyamory.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No problem.
And and then the most important part of our story will have been preserved. Until that day, I wish you'd forgive me, Jane Peterson.
A love letter from Joe Peterson's wife addressed to Barrett Lewis. Who should I give it to, I wonder?
Oh, oh
Why did
God.
you say it in that tone of voice? That was a malicious tone of voice.
That was a very malicious tone of. Ah. Hello there. I don't think we've been introduced. It was pain. That made absolutely no sense. And
What? I mean, what doesn't who
I didn't even say, "What's that on your face?" before I said that.
yeah.
That's like not how that joke works.
Yep. Yeah, you started with we haven't been introduced and then you said it's pain.
A flamethrower. Flamethrower boy could have been a problem.
Yeah, and now he's folded in half.
Yeah. Oh, I have a cat. One moment. Bullet. Gee, do you think that guy's a journalist?
He could be. Maybe he's the poet.
Excuse me, sir. Are you familiar with this part of town? Name's Clayton Darby, reporter.
Sorry, I'm new to Whitechapel. But Jonathan Reed?
Dr. Reed, the famous surgeon. I'll gladly help if I'm able, sir.
Let's just launch into the underground medical dispensary here.
Yeah. Let's abandon all subtlety. No newspapers.
Why are the newspapers keeping silent about the Spanish influenza? It's as though none of you care.
There's a war going on. People shouldn't be demoralized by news of deadly diseases.
Wait a minute. They're still talking early days of influenza if the war's still going on.
It's a disgrace. People are left to die alone. No one is properly informed of the risks.
These are bad times indeed. So much for the glorious British Empire.
Okay, he's deep into the politics.
Yeah,
What is
I
a
thought.
journalist doing in this borough after sunset?
He goes where none of his colleagues would dare to go, to inform the country.
Sorry, you were saying.
I was like, because when I've been playing this game, I haven't been playing it, but watching you play or watching other people play it, I do own it, so I should probably pick it up at some point. Um, but I'm watching this game. I always thought that the war had just ended,
Yep.
but they're saying it's ongoing.
Mm-hmm.
But the Spanish influenza, which really should be the Kansas City influenza if we're talking about where it originated, but um, the Spanish flu didn't really get going until people came home from the war.
Yeah.
Because it was this weird confluence of they were keeping all the really serious cases were still out and about or whatever. It was this weird reversal of natural selection making the nastier version of it come out on top.
It's probably the tail end.
Yeah.
Like they're pulling people back, but most of the troops are still deployed.
And so it's they're coming towards armistice because I think this was one that there was still a lot of fighting going on and then armistice happened.
Yeah.
Uh
Risk your life to reveal the truth.
Yep.
So you risk your life to reveal the truth. I saw many reporters do the same during the war.
Whitechapel is the crucible of so many untold stories and tragedies. I want people to know them.
That's quite honorable of you. But is the public interested?
Not at all, sir. And that's why I'm an independent journalist, hoping to sell some stories.
Have you any idea of the danger you face in these streets at night?
I've had to run and hide more than once from frenzied mobs incensed by the fever. Do you think the flu is really responsible for this, Doctor?
My rationalism has reasonably been shaken.
Yeah.
That's an understatement.
It's not a simple epidemic, is my.
That's yeah.
I'm convinced there is more at work here than a simple epidemic.
Really? To be honest, I could say the same. Some of the sick I saw or heard of. My God, what happened to them?
I heard you're investigating an underground medical dispensary in Whitechapel. What do you know about it?
Not much, I'm afraid. They are wary of strangers, and I'm not really an acquaintance of theirs. Why do you care?
Compromised nurse. We could play that off like that's a reason that, but we don't have to talk about the blackmail.
Yeah. I'm kind of personally, I'm comfortable about exposing specific people, but confidential and public health are both good.
Confidential.
Yeah.
It's confidential. Speaking as a doctor, I'm sure you understand.
Are you sure you're not just concerned about the repercussions that a scandal involving a certain Nurse Crane from the Pembroke Hospital would bring?
Without a doubt, you are a damn fine journalist, Mr. Darby. What do you know of her accomplice, a man named Darius?
I don't know much about the man. He's very cautious. Never goes out. Doesn't seem to have any friends or family.
He has no relatives at all?
No. Except for that strange man, a poet named Richard Nethercott, who sometimes comes by. Darius would never let him in.
Where can I find this Mr. Nethercott?
He spends most of his time lurking around Whitechapel, talking to himself or declaring verses. These days, you can easily find him behind the church.
He never goes out.
No. A few days ago, he unexpectedly did. I followed him, but it was just a ruse to keep me away from his house.
Really? How do you know?
He went to the nearest mailbox, but just before posting his letter, he ripped it up and threw it away.
Interesting.
Goodbye, Mr. Darby. Farewell.
There was a lot more I wanted to ask him, but
Looks like there's hints needed.
yeah.
Is this guy practicing for his sermon?
No, I think he's giving his sermon. How are we doing for time?
About 7 minutes.
Okay. I will be back in 1 second.
Oh, that's a really pretty church. So, while we wait for Brandon to be back, we're going to just sit here and watch this guy who is preaching to... wasn't even preaching towards us. He was off in a completely different direction. Oh, hi, Brandon.
Hi, I am back. Shall I talk to him?
Yeah, let's see what's going on with him.
Forgive my interruption.
Do not apologize, my son. Father Tobias Whitaker is always happy to teach mortals about the incoming Armageddon.
I am Dr. Jonathan Reed, and I just have a few questions.
A scientist? You are much more lost than I thought, my son.
So, Thryth.
This game really wants to tempt you with the whole not eating people thing.
Oh, as a Christian, I'm sure you're going to love this bit.
Yeah.
What do you mean when you say that I am more lost than you thought?
All scientists are entangled in a world of causes and consequences, and most of them can't see the plain truth.
Quite a judgmental opinion, if you ask me. But what do I know? Blinded by science as I am.
Well, you are seeking answers, aren't you? Answers about the Armageddon about to strike the city. Answers about the hidden truth.
Armageddon can't strike London. Armageddon's in the Gideon's in the Middle East.
I am. But the answers I seek are based on facts, not superstition. Have you any friends? Any family left in these terrible times?
No. But I have a disciple I see as my son. He is so devoted. I send him to preach the good word in the heart of this corrupted city.
Where did you send him?
I sent Samuel to the Stonebridge Cemetery, where the pestilence and evil grows night after night.
He seems to have some hints of what's going on.
During the epidemic.
As a true believer,
I don't even want to ask him.
Yeah, no, I don't. Yeah,
I have had enough for tonight.
We're gonna have to rescue his disciple, aren't we?
at the very least.
All right. Do we want to head around back, or do we want to explore this area a bit more?
I'm always a fan of getting all the info possible.
Cool. Let's talk. Some people.
And there was mention
Ah.
of that letter that got torn up and thrown next to the post box.
Damn it! I want to wander these streets with like Voltaire playing.
Don't be shy, handsome. What can Christina do for you?
I'm not looking for what you're selling, but I'd like to ask you a few questions, if I may. I'm a doctor, Dr. Weed.
All right then, but be quick, though I usually get paid when I open my mouth.
That was actually a fairly clever line.
Christina, have you been examined? The epidemic is spreading fast.
Completely blatant, but
Be exposed, or expose others.
I don't like doctors or hospitals, but I don't like you asking questions.
You can put your own life in danger. That's your decision. But what about your clients? If you're contaminated, you will put them in danger too.
And you think that would worry me? If you knew the men I deal with, their health would not be what you'd worry about.
Okay, so
I don't dislike her.
no, it is very strange though for me personally to be playing this game while we are currently going through an epidemic.
Yeah, yeah, that's a thing.
Yeah, because you have the right to risk your own life, but not the lives of those around you.
Yeah,
Considering your line of work, I assure you it is only a matter of time before you have health issues.
If it is going to happen, it will happen. Right now, I need money. That's what's important.
Clayton Darby claims he will expose the crisis in Whitechapel to all of London. Do you believe him?
I believe Clayton's courage will erode with time, until he finally leaves Whitechapel to start another fight somewhere else.
Why this skepticism?
How can you speak about starvation if you've never been hungry? Or about poverty? Or anything else you have never suffered from?
Are you talking from experience?
I've seen your type come here to get a good fuck in a cheap room or a dark alley before going back to their fancy houses in the West End.
Tell me about yourself.
Are you joking with me? People don't usually come to see me for conversation.
I have no interest in your work. I am, however, curious as to what led you into this career.
Short story. The war, exile, and England. This country is not especially welcoming. I've been refused many jobs because of where I am from. I had few options left.
yeah, no, the other ones
I
are.
always thought I was the
Yeah.
master of my own fate. But now I know we don't always have control over our lives. I don't judge you.
You know, this money is not only for me. I have good reasons to need this money quickly. But it is not your concern, Doctor.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? Anything you can tell me about her would be helpful.
I don't know her, but I know her name is Dorothea Crăciunescu. She came from Romania like me and many others.
You seem to respect her.
Dorothea helps the sick people of Whitechapel. Everyone should respect that.
Agreed.
Mm-hmm.
Do you need any assistance?
I like Dorothy.
Depends on the price of your medicine.
Okay, we need to.
The treatment for fatigue.
I will see you later.
Yeah.
Goodbye, miss. Take care of yourself as best you can.
There's got to be a hideout somewhere. Oh, it's time to switch videos at this point.
Awesome.
Okay. Let me... Where's buttons?